Dan Illman, Mike Beer, race number 9 at Belmont on Sunday is the Grade 1 Frizette Stakes. 2-year-old fillies prepping for the Breeders' Cup. Juvenile fillies, they're going a one-turn mile. Remember to get that Belmont Clocker report for Sunday. It's available right now. DRF.com/Clocker is where you need to go to access the Sunday Clocker report and the Clocker report for the entire Belmont Fall Championship meeting. Mike Welsh and his Clockers give you the latest information on the morning workouts leading up to these major races. Here's the field for the Grade 1 Frizette. 2-year-olds hoping to punch their ticket to the Breeders' Cup. Steve Asmussen is the morning line favorite. The 3 Wicked Whisper. The 7 Frank's Rocket has been banging heads with Perfect Alibi. Undoubtedly one of the top 2-year-old fillies in the country. And Bobby Baffert's represented, Mike, with Quality Response. And he doesn't ship for the season.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, this is actually a pretty interesting field because, personally, I think Frank's Rocket is probably the horse to beat in here. But the competition runs pretty deep, I think.
Timeform US believes that this pace could heat up early. No surprise with 2-year-old fillies, most of them stretching out in distance. Wicked Whisper, I do think, is going to make the lead. That's the number 3. She showed big speed in her debut, and it's really all about how much Frank's Rocket wants to press. I think Frank's Rocket stretching out for the first time might not go so hard after Wicked Whisper.
Yeah, we'll see how that all plays out. Frank's Rocket, if nothing else, does have a lot of speed. And it's, for her anyway, it's probably an advantage to be drawn to the outside this time.
I agree about that. The number 1 Quality Response is a perfect 2-for-2 for Bob Baffert. Stakes winner at Los Alamitos last time out. Like that she did it at 6.5. Makes the stretch out to a mile a little bit easier. She's just too much for this field at 1-5, Mike. It just seemed like a great placement off a win where she devastated the competition at Del Mar.
Yeah, the figures for her 2 races are nothing to write home about. I don't think she was probably facing the best fields in the world either. But she's won very impressively in both of her races. In this spot here, Joe Talamo just kept her 4 or 5 wide around the track, made sure she didn't have any trouble. And she just absolutely dominated that field. I'm taking it as a good sign that Baffert is shipping her over here for a Grade 1.
I agree, and maybe this isn't the toughest Frizette field in the world. These fillies still trying to find their way. This filly's got some class. The 2 is Daphne Moon. I really liked her debut for Jeremiah Engelhardt at Saratoga, Mike. She didn't break very well. She ended up very wide on the turn. And we turn into the stretch, and she's now 5 paths wide in the stretch, and she still has work to do. And she goes by these horses going 7 furlongs, which is such a demanding distance for a debut runner. I think she showed a lot of ability in this race. Jeremiah's kept her away now for 2 months, but if this pace gets hot, she's going to come running.
Yeah, I agree with all those things. The fact that she debuted at 7, didn't break that well, but always sort of loomed in behind the leaders, and then they just swung her to the outside, and she did the rest. I was pretty taken with her debut as well.
Wicked Whisper was no surprise for Steve Asmussen. Bet down to 8-5 for her career debut. She showed the field her heels from the start. Big speed for Wicked Whisper as they turn into the stretch, and she never really let them get into the race. I love the way that she just draws away from these horses in the lane under virtually no urging from Ricardo Santana Jr. This race was more like a workout. It's going to be a lot tougher on Sunday, but we know this horse is fast, and I think she could be the goods.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what she does because I don't disagree with you. She just had really easy speed in her debut here. She went unchallenged throughout the race and then just never had to ask her to run. But she still got it done in fast time, I thought. It was really impressive. She is bred to stretch out. She's a half-sister to Point of Honor, who's a Black-Eyed Susan winner, 2nd in the Alabama, 2nd Coaching Club American Oaks. So she is bred to go on.
Slam Dunk, the number 4, beaten favorite in her first 2 starts, but ran well second time out against Alondra, who ran in the Alcibiades, I believed, on Friday at Keeneland. So you'll know the result of that race before Slam Dunk starts. Let's watch Slam Dunk's race. I thought all in all it was a good race. She showed speed from the start. She's turning for home with the lead. I thought she ran perfectly fine. I think there's something here. I think this is a really tough spot, though.
Yeah, I kind of agree with all that. I mean, there's nothing wrong with her. She's run actually pretty well in both of her starts. She has every chance here and can't get by the first-time starter. But you know what? Alondra might be pretty good.
I think Alondra might be pretty good. It was a good effort for Slam Dunk. It'll be interesting to see where she's placed in the early portion of this race. This pace likely to be a lot faster. Ice Princess splashed home to win first out for Danny Gargan. Maybe it was the slop. Maybe this daughter of Palace Malice can roll a bit. Let's watch that race at Belmont Park. It was off the turf, but it was also at a mile and a 16th. And she's a first-time starter. She's already taken control. We see she's on her left lead right now. She changes over, and she goes on to win very, very easily. Hard to rate the race on a sloppy track. Don't really think she was beating much of a field of New York breds, but certainly did it the right way.
Yeah, I mean, I respect the fact that she did it over a distance of ground. So you already know that she can go long. You can see that there's, not a ton of running going on behind her in that race, and it didn't come back fast, but she's already been the distance.
Miss Marissa, the number 6, took on British Idiom, who ran in the Alcibiades on Friday. 2 starts back, an improved performance, first blinkers, and then last time out, they stretched her out to this mile over this track, and she pulled off an upset at 18-1. She's taken over the lead right now. She was always forward in this race, Mike, and she's waiting for the challengers, and there just aren't any.
Yeah, nobody can get to her to take her on in this race. It's funny because it just felt like she took the lead because nobody else wanted it. So she took it, and they never got near her in the stretch. She earned a big new buyer top in this race. It's the kind of figure that sort of puts her in contention, Dan. It's just a question of whether she can do it in a tougher spot.
Frank's Rocket was so impressive winning her debut at Churchill Downs. She looked like a stakes horse. When she won by almost 9 with a 75 buyer, she had trouble in the Grade 2 Adirondack, squeezed and bumped from both sides in upper stretch, then beaten a half length by that very talented Perfect Alibi. We thought she was going to turn the tables in the spin away. Let's turn into the stretch of that race, and Frank's Rocket is going to end up bumping with Perfect Alibi again, but this time I think Perfect Alibi, who's to her inside right now, proves that right now she's the superior horse.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that. I will say that this pace was pretty fast, and Frank's Rocket was right up there on it the entire way. So maybe that offers some excuse for her. You can see her trying to keep it tight on Perfect Alibi there, but she just couldn't stop her at the end and got out finished. Being drawn outside, I think, is a big advantage to her because she has speed, but I don't think she needs the lead.
Are you worried about the mile with her?
A little bit. I'm worried about the mile. Like I said, I think she's the horse to beat in here, Dan, but yeah. I just don't really trust her all that much.
Let's take a look at our top picks for the Grade 1 Frizette. I just loved Wicked Whisper's debut. I realize it's going to be tougher. I realize the distance is longer, but she won that race so easy. Mike mentioned the pedigree. The mile shouldn't be a problem. Asmussen Barn going really well. I went with Wicked Whisper. You loved the Baffert horse's first 2 starts, and what was not to like? I mean, I think she's going to sit a good trip in behind these horses.
Yeah, that's what I thought, too. I realize this is probably a tougher race for her. I don't know if she was beating anything in those 2 races. I just like the way that she did it. And again, I take it's a good sign that Baffert shifted over here. I went 1-3-2-7.
7-2 on Mike's top selection. Quality response. 3-6-2-1 for me. Grade 1 Frizette. Race number 9 at Belmont on Sunday. Approximate post 5:20 Eastern. Best of luck.